Circular saws with tilting tables are very, very dangerous.
What's that? You want to plug it to reverse? You mentioned this somehow?
No, because you can get kickback very easily. Does everybody know what kickback is?
Push that.
Same thing that happened on the circular saw. Anytime you are cutting in the opposite direction that you're putting the board, if you lose control of the board gets hit or wedged against the blade, it will be ejected back towards you. It doesn't happen with a jigsaw or a bandsaw because they're cutting across the board. Circular saw is cutting in the exact opposite direction. So if I was to push a piece of wood in here and let it go, it's going to come flying right back out. That's kickback. You want to make sure that your hands are in the right place if you were to get a kickback, not to have them go over the blade. We'll talk about that. So, we have the tilting arbor saw. This saw has some adjustments. We're not going to talk about the fences yet. We're just going to talk about the blade. I can raise and lower the blade, and I can tilt the blade. So on most saws, raising and lowering the blade is on the front. The front is where I am standing. There is a wheel just like this one that has a lock in the middle and a handle around the outside. This lock, like every one of those other tools in there, that's locked and that's unlocked. You don't have to turn this thing 50 times. It's just loose, tight. That's it. So if I loosen up both of these, the one in the front will raise and lower the blade. That's the blade all the way down. That's as high as the blade will cut. So a 10-inch table saw, a saw with a 10-inch blade will cut approximately 3 inches.
3 inches.
What's this other thing?
That's a curve splitter. We'll get there. Approximately 3 inches, because some saws will only cut to 2 3/4. Some saws will cut to 3 1/4, but it's somewhere around 3 inches, depending on the manufacturer. Okay, if you have a 12-inch saw, you can cut to 4 inches. If you have a 14-inch saw, you can cut to 5 inches. There are other saws that are bigger than this, that have bigger blades. Look pretty much the same, but are bigger in size and just have bigger diameter blades. So for every 2 inches of blade, you can cut 1 inch more. And that's the function of the radius of the blade. So if I have a 10-inch blade, it's 5 inches from the center. And then I have a certain amount of parts and machinery that underneath there that will keep the blade, the arbor, from coming all the way up to the top. And that's about 2 inches on the saw. Okay, so I have that. There is no indicator about how high you are. There's nothing on the saw that says I'm at 2 inches tall or anything like that. You have to measure. Okay, then we have the tilt, and the tilt is here, and this saw will tilt all the way over to 45 degrees. What? Or a miter or a bevel, more likely a bevel. Like a miter, but a long one. Okay? It will go to 45 degrees or a little beyond 45 degrees. It has an indicator, but don't trust it. If you come over here and you look at where the little arrow arrow is that shows you what the angle is.
Shit, my favorite, right?
See that little arrow right there?
Yeah.
How accurate do you think it's going to be?
Not that accurate.
Oh, that's not accurate.
Especially if you can move it like that.
Yeah. They are notoriously bad. So the way you would do it is you would set an angle with like a sliding T-bevel.
Yeah.
Put the sliding T-bevel there, adjust the blade to the sliding T-bevel, cut a scrap, measure the scrap, and then if it's not right, readjust it. If it's right, leave it alone, and then start cutting your pieces. That's just the way you do it.
But for the most part though, we're just working on 90, 45 degree angles, right?
No, there's lots of times that you're cutting other angles on this saw,
Okay.
where you're cutting bevels that you need some other angle.
Okay.
Happens a lot. But most of the time, you're cutting a 90 degree cut. Okay. Once I go away from 90 degrees, when I come back, I have to check it with combination to make sure that I'm at 90 degrees. I do.
But how would you know if you're at 90 degrees though?
I'm going to check with the combination screw.
Oh. Yeah, combination squat.
Take the combination screw like so. Go like that.
Combination
Put it
squat.
on this side of the blade, not on the throat plate, because these things might not be quite
Square.
flat.
Yeah.
You want it sitting on the table over here, because the table gets up much closer to the blade.
Oh, so the table turns. I thought the blade was.
And no, the table does not turn. It's the blade.
Blade tilts, right? So the table stays the same, right? Alright.
That's why it's called a tilting arbor saw. The blade tilts and not the table. Okay, once you're there, you're there. You notice that this is a right tilt saw. It tilts towards the right. As far as I know, there are no small table saws that tilt in both directions. So you'll either get a right tilt saw or a left tilt saw. There are lots of reasons why a left tilt saw is better, but there are going to be 10 times more right tilt saws because Unisaw, the company that kind of owns that market space, which is what this is, had a right tilt saw and then everybody just copied them.
Is it because right-handed or something like that?
Nope,
Or no?
it's just the way they did it. Don't know why they did it that way, but it's the way they did it. And the reason it can only tilt one way is what they designed here was a small table saw. Prior to this, table saws were big. Cast iron, heavy duty machinery. They designed basically a hobby saw. This is a smaller saw. The way they did it to make it work was they got all of the parts very close together. So the motor hangs off the arbor over here. There's a shaft with 3 pulleys, 3 belts. Belts are about this long. 1 pulley there, 1 pulley there, and the motor is right there. So as I lower this, you can see the pulleys right there, right? And if you look over here in this door, open it. That's the motor. As I bring the blade up, what do you notice about the motor?
The motor's moving up.
The motor's going with it. When I tilt the blade over, the motor tilts down like that. It's all connected together. It's one whole thing. So the whole thing tilts over. Therefore, I can't tilt it this way, or the motor would try to come up out of the table.
Oh.
So if I have a left tilt saw, everything over here has been flipped over and it's on the other side. It will only tilt to the left. The company that popularized that was Powermatic, which is the yellow tool. So they came out with a left tilt saw about 5 years after this came out, like in the late 30s, early 40s. For the longest time, Powermatic was the only company that made left tilt saws. At some point they had a marketing thing that told us why the left tilt saw was better than the right tilt saw. And the reasons are this. Most often table saws are set up for right-handed people, which means this fence is going to be on the right side. Everybody's going to learn to cut the same way, left-handed or right-handed, everybody's going to learn to cut the same way. If you are cutting on this side, your hand is going through this space. If the saw tilts to the right, now that space is much smaller, and the blades are pointing right at your hands. If it tilts to the left, it's away from your hand. So one, there's a safety advantage. Two, a second safety advantage. If the fence is here, and the blade is tilted over like that, the piece is going under the blade. If you accidentally push down on the back of the piece, it will kick back because the piece wedges against the blade. If the blade is this way, you accidentally push down, it lifts away from the blade. You're less likely to get kickback with a left tilt saw. Another advantage, if you are cutting a bevel, if you want the long side of the bevel to be visible, which is, the bevel is like that, this is the long side. On the right tilt saw, that long side is down. On the left tilt saw, that long side is up. More likely if that's down, as you cut, this is going to get shredded. When you cut it, when it's on the upside, all the chipping on the table saw happens on the bottom side. So you'll get a better cut for any bevel. So those are a few reasons why the left tilt saw is better. It was just so happened that this company was more popular, that was a little bit cheaper, and more people bought this, and more companies copied this. So the right tilt saw is much more common. It's much more common on the used market, like if people are buying used things used, because there are so many of them. New saws around the 1980s, when all of the Asian imports came in, they wanted an advantage because they were seen to not be as good. And they started bringing in left tilt saws to combat, like, oh, we're much safer than the Unisaw. And there were ad campaigns. We're much safer than the Unisaw. So they all had left tilt saws. And then after about 10 years, Delta, the company that made this, started making left tilt and right tilt saws. And now, most saws, I think, that come out are left tilt. Okay?